The ones who support him are suburban, rural, and probably not that well educated.
You mean like those people over there?
Yep.
Okay. What made you come to the conclusion to kind of categorize people like that based on their political leanings?
I watch the news.
Do you honestly think that most of his supporters are racist or prejudiced?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Would
do.
you be willing to go over and talk to one right now and maybe see if we can bridge a divide and
No.
maybe talk?
Absolutely not. I haven't got time for them. I don't have time for them.
You wouldn't be willing just to hear their side and maybe prove you wrong so you can have a different outlook on a majority of the country?
No.
So right behind us there are, I think they said, the silent majority. They're Trump supporters kind of doing a protest or something, and you just shouted something. Can you repeat what you're saying?
I told them to keep America racist. Of course, I don't believe that. But I think that's what they believe. So we need to call them out on it every single time.
Absolutely. What makes you think that just those people over there would support that?
Well, they support the president. The president's a racist.
Okay.
I mean, it's kind of those logical, problems
So
that you do in
something
school.
that I see a lot of people, a lot of Trump supporters ask is, where is the proof that he is racist? Do you want to set that to bed and give us the proof?
I would say every other tweet would be proof right there. When he talks about African Americans, when he only calls out African American athletes, for whatever malfeasance he sees. God, what are all the others?
The recent attacks on the new congresswoman of color and his comments about the congressman from Baltimore. I mean, the list is endless.
That has been a big one, Baltimore. Can you go more into depth about how that is the R word?
I'm sorry?
How is that racist? There's a lot of people, I've seen so many people, that's not racist. Let's put it to bed. What makes his statements about Baltimore racist?
I can't put my...
Well, because he's saying it to a black congressman, and he's saying, the place you live in is, a rat hole or whatever it was he said. And here's the other thing. Yeah, if it's a rat hole, then he needs to talk to his son-in-law because his son-in-law owns the properties that are rat infested. And that's been in the news all over the place. Okay.
So do you think if Elijah wasn't a person of color, do you think it would still be prejudice or racist?
Yeah, I do. Because you know what? Those are urban areas. And when you're talking about urban areas, a lot of times you're talking about people of color. And let's face it, the urban people are not the ones supporting him. And I don't mean, by urban, I don't mean black, I mean people who live in cities. The ones who support him are suburban, rural, and probably not that well educated.
You mean like those people over there?
Yep.
Okay. What made you come to the conclusion to kind of categorize people like that based on their political leanings?
I watch the news, and I read what Trump says, and when I see people like those folks saying make America great again, what they mean is we're really glad that there isn't a black man in the White House.
How do you put those two together?
Because America was damn great when Obama was in the White House. And here's the other thing too. They actually, at one point, I remember when they were first running, Michelle Obama said something about let's make America great, and all the other right-wingers jumped all over it and said, how in the world can she say America's not great? But Trump comes out and says make America great again. Oh, and that's fine? Why? Because the white guy said it? No.
So do you honestly think that most of his supporters are racist or prejudiced?
Yes,
Okay.
I
Would
do.
you be willing to go over and talk to one right now and maybe see if we can bridge a divide and
No.
maybe talk?
Absolutely not. I haven't got time for them. I don't have time for them.
You wouldn't be willing just to hear their side and maybe prove you wrong so you can have a different outlook on a majority of the country?
No. I don't have time for the rhetoric. I don't know if you ever
understand what's really going on. I mean, Mueller testifies. Even the Attorney General and all of the president's appointees completely misconstrue the truth. They'll say anything they don't, without any support. It's ridiculous. I mean, no one cares. The president lies every single day.
What did he lie about today?
I'm not sure what he lied about today. But
What about
I'm sure
yesterday?
He lied about something. Well, I just know that after the Mueller testimony, he came out and he again tried to categorize it as a witch hunt and said that it showed, completely cleared him, that it was exonerated, there was no collusion, and that is just a complete misrepresentation of what the Mueller report said. The only reason he's not being indicted is because you cannot indict a sitting president.
Yeah. Anything else you guys feel real strongly about?
Yeah, if he wasn't president, he'd be in jail.
Okay. What proof do you have for that?
Well, the fact that the prosecutor came out and said he would have indicted him, yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway.
You guys don't want to bridge the divide and like bring some... Right here, would you be willing to talk and maybe bridge a divide between two political parties?
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
Okay, so this is just a perfect example of the tolerant, the loving, the left here in the entire United States. So I offered her a chance to talk to someone that she is categorizing. She's never talked to these people behind me. She's never witnessed anything that they said. She's never even met them before or seen them before, but she didn't want to go talk to them to see if her predispositions about them are true. So she's going to walk away today still with that hate in her heart, still with this weird notion that everybody over here is racist, or they hate black people, or they just don't care about anybody in general. And that's really, really sad, because I was under the assumption that the left were loving. I was under the assumption that they were considerate and they were compassionate for all people, So that's really sad. That is a supporter of Elizabeth Warren. Let that sink in. Let that sink in today. There was a lady that walked by that said that you guys were the R word and that you were prejudiced and you hate minority people. And I offered her, I said, can we go over together and maybe have a conversation with one of them and maybe we can see if that's true or not. She said, no, I don't have time for that.
I would have totally 100% been down for that.
I personally love being called a racist as a Mexican.
Well, how dare you? How dare you?
Well, I mean, I thought racist only applied to white people, right? What about me then? How am I a racist? Or does that make them racist for calling a Mexican a racist?
You don't have enough power to be racist.
Yeah, I don't have enough power.
That's the new definition. There's a lot of mental gymnastics that come along with being a liberal. So why do you think she didn't want to talk to you? She just completely wrote you off, called you all kinds of names. Every single person here, she's never met any one of you. Why would she just completely write you off and not want to come talk?
Democrats are immune to facts and logic and will not reason, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easier just to go ahead and scream obscenities at somebody or take the moral high ground as you walk away and feel smug about yourself. But actually having to have a battle of wits or actual ideas and see which one holds more water, that's just not in their game.
The last time I checked, they preach that love trumps hate. They preach that they're tolerant, that they care about the kids in the cages while they support Planned Parenthood. They preach that they love every single person on this earth and in this country. They didn't love you, did they?
No, that whole scene is based on lies.
Absolutely.
Yeah, open-mindedness for sure, right?
Absolutely. Intolerance as well.
Yeah.
All right,
I think we called them all kinds of nasty stuff, didn't we?
No.
Oh, that's right.
Didn't say anything really.
I forgot. Must be PTSD, just so shaken.
I love it.